send again to him. Okay, so let's see like what we learned yesterday, okay, and what we are going to learn today. So both the things we just see that. Okay, so yesterday like what we learn, especially like design time and runtime object. So there are a specific term and important term like design time and runtime. So the design time is like something which we are creating with the help of SQL is we call as a design time, and the things which we are creating with the help of menu is nothing but a runtime object. Okay, so in simple way, this we call as a repository object also, and the runtime object we call as a catalog object. Okay, so there are specific difference are there. So and this is important difference in terms of security also, because the role and the user which we are creating with the help of menu is nothing but your runtime object. Okay, so the runtime object which cannot be transportable, that is the most important thing, like a runtime or catalog object. So either thing we are creating with the help of runtime, like either it will be we are creating or defining any adding any privilege to the role, okay, or the privilege to the users. So all this will be not transportable thing. Okay, the catalog objects are not non-transportable, whereas design time which we are creating with the help of SQL, okay, SQL commands, is nothing but your design time object, and these design time object can be transportable to other quality and production system. So that is the most important thing. So whenever we are creating a rule which is required to be transported in quality and production, that should be always in the design time, okay, with the help of SQL. Then only it will be useful for us to moving it. But if some role, if you want to really you want to utilize only for the development system, that you have the option to create at the runtime. Okay, so these are the specific difference, like what we have design time and runtime. Like this design time object we call as a repository object, whereas runtime object we call as a catalog object. The design time object is always transportable, whereas runtime object non-transportable. Okay, and here the design time, whenever we are activating the design time object, okay, automatically one copy will be created as a runtime copy of that same object. Okay, and whereas whenever we are creating any runtime object, system automatically create the runtime object. We don't have to activate or anything, we don't have to do. So that is the difference compared to here, that is auto generated one. Okay, here the initial owner with the user, and the runtime the owner itself will be like it will be sysrepo or system by which the object can be given to the user, so they are become the owner. Okay,
Sir, are you sharing the screen?
okay, so yeah, I am not sharing. I think I shared or not. I think I shared. Okay, okay, so now you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so okay, I think then I forgot to share the screen. So here like these things we learned yesterday. So here if you see, whenever we are creating any object using SQL command, it's nothing but design time, whereas if we are creating any object using menu, like your HANA Studio menu, is nothing but your runtime object. Okay, so the design time object we call as a repository object, whereas runtime object we call as a catalog object. Okay, so design time will be transportable, whereas runtime is non-transportable. And whenever we are creating any design time object, so we have to activate this, and once we are activating, then only we are able to use that object as a design time object. Whereas whenever we are creating any design time object using the role menu or the user menu, this will be automatically activated. We don't have to activate separately. That is already in the active version. Okay, and whenever we want to assign or provide the ownership, so the ownership initially will be the owners, like the owner who is created that object is become the owner. So ideally we have to transfer this ownership to other user, so then it will be used by any other person, so other person can also be able to assign to other user. So that is there. Whereas here in the runtime object, the in whenever we are creating any object, so this object will be given by the sysrepo or the system. So these are the system users which will own that object. Okay, and that can be assigned to the users or owned by the user whenever we are assigning any role. So this you can see these are the people or the users become the owner of that object. Okay, so the important part, like if we are creating any object with the help of SQL command, so the one design time copy. Okay, uh, so one sorry whenever we are creating any design time object, okay, so even though the user left, the object cannot be deleted from the system. Whereas whenever we are creating any catalog object or the runtime object, if the user is who created the object will left the organization, and if we delete that, then the object will be gets deleted from the system. Okay, so these are the specific difference what we have in the design time and runtime object. Okay, and the next thing, like whenever you see like any design time object, how to see that the role which we are creating, whether it is a design time or the runtime. So all the design time object have the extension like dot hdb role or dot analytical privilege, for example, whereas all the runtime object doesn't have any extension. Okay, so these are the specific difference what we have in the design time and runtime. So this is important one. This is also an interview question for you also. So if people who is wanted to ask you like whether you work on the HANA DB security, they are definitely going to ask you this question: design time and runtime object. Okay. So any question before moving? Mehul, Shivam, or anyone?
No, sir.
No, I don't.
Twinkle, Achintya?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. So let's log in into the system, and we see till the system is logged in. Let's see what are the other things are there. So here always remember two initial thing, like people did the mistake. So what the mistake they did, like whenever we want to give access to the user, we can assign the privilege to the user directly. That is possible in HANA or HANA DB. But if you compare with your ECC, like it is not possible to assign any transaction to user directly, right? But we have to create a role, and via role only we can assign. Correct, na?
Yeah.
So in HANA, like if you want to give access to the user directly, you can assign the privilege to the user. We can create shortcut also, na, here. Forget how to do this. I think this is the way, but okay, anyway, let's open it. Okay, so the one thing, like whenever we want to assign, it is not the good practice that we will be assigning the privilege to the users directly. So the reason why we don't want to assign privileges to the user directly to his ID, because it is very difficult to maintain, like which access you given from which privileges, and if you want to remove some of the privileges, it is very difficult to identify which privilege is required for which purpose. right? So that is the reason, instead of assigning privilege to the user directly, create one role, add the privileges, and add the role. So it is very easy. Suppose you have one common role, we have the developer role, and tomorrow if you want to remove the developer role, it is easy just to see that role and remove the developer role. But if you assign the developer privileges in each of the privileges, then you have to search and identify which privilege is responsible for providing access as a developer access, right? So it is only for one user, maybe it's okay, but assume if you have the 100 user, and then from 100 user you have to identify which role or which privilege is required to be removed from each of the user. It is very tough. But if you know that, okay, these are the role, and in these roles maybe some common roles are there, and if you want to assign one specific privilege to all the user, you just add into the common role, so then it will be automatically given to all the users, right? Otherwise you have to keep individually that new object which you want to assign to all the 100 user or 200 user. You have to individually add to each of the user, right? So the better approach always, and don't assign directly the privilege to the any of the user, but create the role and assign that role to the user. That is first important thing to we keep in mind. And second thing, whenever we are creating the role, always use the catalog object. Okay, so if you use catalog, or you can say uh, like design time, sorry, so whenever we are creating a role, use always the design time, don't use the catalog role and assign to the users. Okay, so that is also one important thing. So in initial way, when the HANA comes into picture, so people are going to create especially the catalog object and assigning to the users directly. So the issue is like first thing, like it is very difficult to transport. We have to create all the rows catalog object in each of the you can say landscape, whereas if you are creating a design time role, then it is easy to transport from one place to other place. It's quality to production, that is possible. So these two specific important mistake that people did initially once HANA they have implemented. So they assign the privilege directly, second thing, and even if they create the role, they created the role as a catalog object or the design time object. Okay, so this we have to keep in mind while creating or implementing any of the HANA DB implementation. So any question in these 2 points from anyone?
No, sir.
Okay, so the next thing, like the difference between application and DB security. So application, like whenever we are, you assume like a application is S4 HANA and DB is your DB security, HANA DB security. So here we don't have the ownership concept here. Okay, like either you create role, so it doesn't mean that you cannot assign this role to any other user, right? Whereas in database, if the person who is creating the role who become the owner of that, so we have to transfer the ownership to the user. And second thing, if suppose we want to assign some of the privileges to the user, we should own that privileges to ourselves, then only we are able to assign this privilege to others. Okay, here the authorization object level is not well defined and it is not very complex, but here the object level authorization is our must. The owner should always give the authorization to other user. So the object level, like the person who created the object become the owner of the object, and then he only can able to assign these privileges to other people or the ownership to the other people. But here we don't have any restriction of that, right? So it is easy to manage, it is hard to manage, because always we have to look for the ownership, like who is the person who owned that object, and then we have to transfer that ownership, then we are able to do this. So ideally what we do actually, so we transfer this ownership to sysrepo user. Okay, and then sysrepo user is nothing but your system user. So that system user, with the help of system user, we can assign to any of the users the same object. That we're going to see it anyway. So until here, any question from anyone?
No, sir.
Okay, so the type of user, so these are the three type of user conceptually we have. So one is like system user, like system user or standard user. Like at the time of HANA implementation, we need some initial user. Like, for example, when we install S4 HANA or maybe ECC, we have this SAP star, right, and DDIC user to install the software into the server. So similarly, if you want to install HANA system, okay, HANA server, okay, so we SAP provides some users that we call as a system user. Okay, so these system user will be used to install those software and day-to-day activity like a upgrade or patching. So those things will be done with the system user, right? Then we have the technical user. So these technical user like a system kind of user which will be used to do the object and granting privileges to other users. So we have like sys, whatever we can find with the SYS is nothing but the system user. Okay, and these user can be used or whenever we are creating any object as a design time and activate, so then one copy will be transferred to these users and they will become the owner for those object, the activated copy. Okay, and even if you create as a runtime, so by default without transferring the ownership they will become the owner. Okay, so these user is called as a technical users, technical database user. So not only these two, but there are many others which all will start with sys only. Somewhere sys will be there. So that we can see also, like just login into the system and we can find some of the system users. And then we have the users which we are creating into the system by creating like a right click and create user. So we call as a regular user. So these regular user like who perform day-to-day activity on the database like modeling activity. ABAPer is there, security consultant or basis consultant. So those are the regular user which we are creating. Okay, and then we are assigning the specific privileges or the role based on their responsibility. Okay, so these are the regular user, technical user and system user conceptually. But while creating the user, we are creating two types of user in the system, like it is a standard user and a restricted user. So the standard user, like who are the user who want to do or who want to work in the database directly, so we call as a standard user, whereas the restricted user who doesn't have access to the database, but these user is able to use the database entries or the views using some external application, like you can say like any reporting or any Tableau or some other reporting tool if they want to use and they want to view only the data. So these people is nothing but the restricted user. So those user we are creating in HANA DB. So let's see that how to create those standard user or restricted user and what is the difference. So whenever we are creating a standard user, by default one public role is assigned to the user. So that is important thing. Whereas whenever we are creating the restricted user, no public role is assigned to the user. Okay, they can view only the data which is given to the access for this restricted user. And if you remember, we have we created one user and then public role is assigned to the user. You remember or no? Not sure.
Yes, yes. Like the public role was assigned, but what there was no option to mention like it's a standard user or restricted user.
Yeah,
How we do?
we have option. I will show you now.
Okay.
So see, because we want to go so that we don't have to add the users. Okay, so now we just log into the system. So here the system user, like we talk about system na. So this is the most powerful user by which we can do anything. Okay, and otherwise we created the best user and welcome. One, two, three. It's the password. Okay, so if you observe, like we have this security, and within security, if you open the users, you can find like all the system users is here. Like here underscore sys AFL EPM repo users SQL analyzer statistical user SAP task workload XB. Okay, so these are the system users. Okay, technical user which we talk about right now. Right now, like we talk about these user technical users, nothing but which is started with the sys. System user just seen. Okay, and the regular user which we are going to create using right click here. So if you want to create any user, it's nothing but the regular user, and within that we have the two things like a new user or new restricted user. Okay, so the new user is a normal user, restricted user doesn't have the public role assigned to them, right? So if you create any user like a test user, for example, okay, duplicate already we have. Okay, so we created this user. Okay, here you can see the log also and the bottom also. So automatically this public role is assigned. So this public role, what it will do, like we have these icons, right? These folders, catalog, content, provisioning, security. So he is able to navigate, like at least see those structure by using the public one. Okay, so that is the means change, you can say, or the point here. Whenever we are creating any user, it will show you all the folders, right? So let's close some of them. So until here, any question from anyone?
Because one thing I don't know whether Vadiman has asked earlier or not. What is this disable ODBC JDBC? Is
Yeah,
it for security or?
external, if suppose you want to add some external database with your HANA DB, so that can be connected with JDBC ODBC connectors, non-SAP system database.
Okay, okay.
So all the SAP will be connected with the help of your connector RFC connection, but other database connections, suppose if you want to connect some SQL server and want to transfer some data from SQL server to your HANA database, then you need the JDBC ODBC connection. And if you don't want it, you can disable it.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the meaning here. So these are the the way we can create a standard user and the restricted user. Okay, So they doesn't have the direct database access, but they have only the specific view access. So the restricted user can be connected through web, like if they want to connect anything or want to see any data from the database, so they can use directly from the HTTP or HTTPS link. They cannot able to log in into HANA Studio and see anything. Okay, so
Sir, so restricted users authenticated by password or by some other method? I mean that certificate wala X.509 or something.
yeah, they will be like we will be creating from here, for example, like this. Okay, and
Hmm.
then if we give the password, they if you use any or the other authenticated method, for example SAML or any other one, so then the password will be linked with that their directory. They can,
Okay, so they do not get that screen of ID password. They just directly click on the link and go inside.
yeah, then they will be authenticated with their NTID, for example, or their NTID or any other method if you use, so they
Mm-hmm.
will be authenticated with that.
Okay, so this thing basis will tell, or who will
Yes,
tell that how?
basis will configure that they
Huh.
have configured that SAML or this X509 certification.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so this is the way to create those users. Okay, so one important thing, whenever any user left the organization, then we have to deactivate instead of deleting those users from the system, because if we delete, so all the object will be what's deleted. Okay, so then we have the schema. So the schema is nothing but like the collection of the specific tables or different object that we call as a schema in the in the HANA DB. So here in HANA DB, if you see, like open this catalog folder, and whatever you can see, these three color of folder is nothing but your schema. Okay, so this schema is nothing but the holder of all the objects which we are creating in the HANA DB, the physical object. Okay, for example, your tables are there, so all the table which is created here, that will be saved into this schema that we call as a schema. So your tables is there, like your sequence, if you are creating any sequence, if you are creating any procedures, so these are the object which will be held by the schema. Okay, like indexing, if you create any function, okay, or any query or any model, if you are created any different view if it is created, so this will be held by this schema. Okay, so the schema thing you understood, like what is a schema? It is logical grouping of the objects such as tables, views, stored procedure, etc. It is nothing but one container. Okay, so here it will hold three type of schema is there, like user defined schema is there. So where whenever we are creating any user, by default one schema will be created on the username. So if you observe, like we created this test user, na, initial test 01, for example, right? So one schema is created on his name. Okay, initially it will be blank only, but if he create any, if he write and if he is able to create any specific object, so that this will be saved under his schema only. Okay, so here test 1, test 01 is there, right? So 01 is where we have somewhere 01. We have to refresh it sometime. If it is not visible, we have to refresh it also. So where is test 01 is not visible, it's 1 only visible. Okay, let's create one thing. Maybe we create something like with starting with the 0, so it will be showing in the beginning. Okay, so let's create one maybe. Okay, so we created it. Just refresh it first so that it will take the effect here. And now just open this. So 000 underscore ABCD. Is it visible or no? So here it is visible, it is showing 000 ABCD, but here it is not showing. Okay, let's okay, let me log in with this also. Let's see. Okay, it is not showing. I don't know why it is not, but ideally it is showing. But here, if you see also, so it has the schema access. So this is nothing but the schema. So this schema, whenever we are creating any user, so the same name schema will be visible here. Okay. So if you log in with his ID, you can find this ID also within his ID. If you log in as a user 00 underscore ABCD, you can find one folder like here, the schema. You can have the access for that schema. Okay. So maybe if suppose you log in with the user, add with different users, just an example 000 underscore ABCD and hello 12. Welcome 12. Okay, so if you see like ABCD is there, and if you open that folder, content folder, you can find he have access for 000 ABCD access. Okay, so whenever he is creating any of the object, which will be saved into his schema. Okay, so might be I think this user doesn't have the access for this schema. So what we have to do, if we give the access to the grant table to this sys user or the best user, then we are able to see that specific schema for the user. Okay, but this is now clear with everyone. Like whenever we are creating any user, by default one schema gets created, though the object, whatever object we can see, it is empty right now because the user doesn't create any of the table. So that's what, for example, we doesn't find any table under this schema. Okay, so until here, any question from anyone? So we have the user defined schema, system defined schema as well. So if you see, observe here, these are the system defined schema like sys repo, sys SQL analyzer, SQL sys task. So these are the system defined schema. Okay, which holds some system related tables and objects. And then we have SLT derived schema. So SLT derived schema is something like if you want to transfer any of the data from any third party, or you can say third party software or database, then we have to create SLT schema, and then which is used to transfer the data from outside to the SAP S4 HANA or HANA database. That is better actually, not S4 HANA we have to tell, but HANA database. Okay, so these are the three type of schema we can define in the HANA DB. So any question in this?
No, I don't have.
Anyone else? Mehul,
No,
Anchitya?
sir.
Okay.
The system reference schema means the one which automatically created that one.
Yeah, Venkat?
The system defined schema means when we create a user, schema will automatically created, that will be called as a system.
Actually, the system will be defined by SAP itself. So we are not defining this schema because these users defined by SAP itself. So as you know, like whenever we are creating any system user or any of the user, his name one schema will be gets created, and whenever we are creating any user, by default the user will see the default schema for, and this will be assigned to all the users.
So, sir, like whatever work user like save, it will be saved in the schema, right?
Not is user is saved into schema, but whenever we are creating any user, one space will be created, you assume, in this way with his name.
Oh.
So one folder, it's you can consider as a folder, and this folder is nothing but containing these many objects. So if we create, for example, now this user AB00ABCD creating a table, so this will automatically getting saved into in his schema.
Okay,
So
but like when we delete the user, so the schema will be deleted.
yes, schema will automatically delete it from here.
And sir, if we have to
On
assign this access to some other person,
hmm,
so do we need to assign this schema to that like that user?
hmm. Yeah, so that means we have to transfer the ownership of the objects. Okay, or otherwise if we deactivate it, not deleting but deactivate, then we can utilize this schema, these objects, after transferring the ownership.
By 000_ABCD will be called as a user defined schema.
Yeah, Venkat, your voice is not very clear. Yeah, come again.
Now that 000_ABCD will be called as a user defined schema.
Yeah, user is defined a schema, and that is dedicated for this user only.
Okay, so it is called as a user defined.
Yes.
The SYS schema will become from the standard from the system, so that will be called as a standard schema, system schema.
Correct.
Okay.
So all the tables means we can view these tables, like what are the specific tables is there which is created here, and that is only for the system purpose. So here if you see these tables, okay, so here we cannot see any tables, for example. So it is just a purpose for using by the system only. Okay, but whatever is created by the user, he can see everything in his schema here. Okay, so for example, if he is creating some tables, and if we have the table creation access, so this table will be gets created here in his ID. Okay, like first name, last name, whatever field he want. Okay, okay, so for example, if we created this table, okay, so if you refresh it, so this one table will be get saved into his ID. Okay, his schema, right? So this is the way, like whenever he is creating any object, which will be saved into his schema, and if you want to provide access, so ideally he only have to provide access to other user to view this table, or otherwise, since how we created here as a right click and from the menu, so it is nothing but design time or runtime. It has become the runtime. because we not used SQL to create this table, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if we use SQL like create table, table name, uh, htest, and then the field name, correct, means the type of the character and the digit number of the character it hold, then it will become your design time object. So then we can transport this table from quality and production as well. Just an example. Creation table anyway not our job as a security consultant, but since we don't have any developer here, so we only have to create some of the tables, some of the views by our own, okay, and do the testing. But anyway, main concept what I want to tell you, like it is like we are not use the design time object, so we created with the help of menu, so it is runtime object. Okay, so any query before moving from anyone?
That's why it is there inside this catalog, na? Because it's runtime.
uh, no, it is not, but if we create any object also, like with the help of your design time, and once we activate that also again saving here. But the important point or aspect here, like whenever we are creating, it is always possible to transport. So this table if you are creating with the help of menu, we are not able to transport this to any other system, but other object which is design time we are able to transport. And also we can transfer the ownership also for this design time object, even though the user is not there, we can use to transfer the ownership to other user. We'll see that how to do this. Okay, but it doesn't matter whether it is design time or runtime, it is always saved into the user if user is creating with the help of their own or login ID and the password.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so the main idea, like whenever we are creating it and we are activating it, so automatically one's ownership automatically changes to sys repo for any design time object. Okay, so here if you assume we read actually, so this is written here also. So whenever we are creating which can be activated, it is okay. So when the object is created, design time will not be deleted even the user is deleted. So here actually the ownership automatically transfer once we activate na to sys repo. This object will be have the ownership. Okay, so anyway, so schema you are okay, everyone is okay with the schema. You understood like what is schema and how the user will get the schema. So if you want to give access to the user to read this table, we have to provide the schema access and then we have to provide the table access, then user is able to view the data inside this. Okay, then we have the package. So what is the package? So package is nothing but one folder which will hold all your, you can say runtime, or you can say the object which we are creating as a views. So these views which will doesn't really contain the object in physical memory, it is a runtime presentation of the data which will be saved into your package. So this icon is nothing but the package. This is schema which will hold all your physical object in your memory, whereas these are the design time, or you can say runtime. So don't confuse in like design time runtime object, which is presentation of the data at runtime. That is better way to tell. Okay, so if we are creating any presentation here, so this will nothing but showing you the data at the whenever you are running any of the views. So these are the views, nothing but like calculation view, attribute view, and your analytical view. Three types of views are there available in the system, and this can be given access to the user. So whenever user is running any of the view which will bring the data from the specific tables, and do some calculation and bring the data to you in the specific format. So any of the view doesn't hold the data in the memory, it is just a presentation of the data at the runtime. Okay, now this all views like your attribute view, analytical view and calculation view and analytical privilege, so these are the object which is created, and also like a restored procedure. So the procedure you can create as a in your package, and as well as you can create the procedure in your repository as well. Okay, both places you can create, either you can create in your schema or you can create either in your package. Both places we can create. So this is the only object which can be created in both the places. Okay, so understood the views. So we'll see that what is the different view. Attribute view is a normal simple view, and analytical view is the view which will be used especially for having some basic calculations. Okay, whereas the calculation view is the view if you want to do complex calculation, intersection, union, all the mathematical operation can be done with the help of calculation view. Attribute view is just a join and simple view. Okay, in analytical some of the mathematical and expressions we can utilize, but not all. But if you want to do some complex one, go for the calculation view. So all your mathematical functions, procedures, union, intersection, everything will work in the calculation view. And whereas the analytical privilege is the data level access. So if you are going to create an analytical privilege, like if you want to say 1000 company code is given to the user, so he is able to view the data only for 1000 company code. So for that purpose we have to create a analytical privilege. Okay, so any question here about the package, what package contain? So this is nothing but the package. This icon, square icon, and this brown icon is nothing but your package. So any question?
Sir,
Yeah,
what is the use of this package?
package is just a kind of folder. Okay, so whenever we want to create any of the view, this view can be created in a package only. Okay, so for example, if you want to create one package here, okay, so we can give the package name. So it is why we are creating this package. So a specific view, for example, if you are creating a view for finance table, on finance table, just an example, right? So it is better to understand people like this folder is specific for finance view. Okay, it contain the finance related tables, for example. So fi, where it is fi, we created somewhere na fi view or
It's the
okay, where it is gone.
yeah. There only ECC Raj Khan.
Yeah, fi view. Okay, so this fi view, like so that people know that okay, this fi view is responsible for finance related view, finance related table they use. Similarly, you can create a specific folder. So within finance, if you want to say like two folder or two package you want to create, so just go here and create one sub package also and give the name. So within this view, fi view, you can create account payable view, for example. Okay, and if you say okay, so one folder will be created here. So here account payable related view if you want to create, so based on this you can provide access. So it is easy to maintain and to easy to understand like which view access we want to give to the user, right? So that is the only idea about your package. So the user, the designer who is designing the view, so it is easy for us and easy for them also, like if they are creating any view, account payable or account receivable, for example. So which table or which folder we have to provide access to the user. So either we have to want to provide some user who is working in the account payable department, so they will able to get the access in this particular package, sub package. So first we have to provide access for finance package and then maybe the sub package, and within some package if we create any view, he is able to get the specific view which is required for him. Now this is designing of a structure, and the related object will be saved into a specific sub package or the package, right? So Mehul or Venkat, any question on the package?
I understand like what is meant by package, but what we'll define in the those sub package and subfolders, I'm not sure.
Is nothing but the view. So if we create any view, for example attribute view, so this view will be saved into this package, okay? And then if you want to give a access for this view, so we have to provide first the folder subfolder access and then the view access, then only he is able to see the data inside the view.
Sir, a view, like, I have a question, like, why do we create views? This is for only reporting purpose or-
Reporting purpose, yes. Like how we are creating a BW report, right, to present the data. In similar way, in HANA-DB the term is similar to like a view. So we create a view on this table, for example account payable table. So the user who want to read that view or want to see the data in the representation format, he can we can provide the access and he can see the data in the view, in the form of view.
Okay.
Okay.
View means we will define the attributes like what user can see.
Correct. That's correct. So here if you see if you open any of the view, you can we can see that what the meaning of view here. You can open one view. So if you see here, so these are the field and these are the two table used for generating this view, okay? And these field they considered to generate the view, okay? And if you want to see like what data is there available here, you go here and here is the place like data preview, okay? So these many fields you have access, and how you want to generate the report, you just transfer here the data like here, and this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis. So the field you want to add, so this will show you the data in this format, for example, right? So this is one kind of view output, right? You can see this view in this format, maybe in this vertical format, okay? If you want to see this in this format or horizontal format, or maybe in this format, this graphical format, or this pie chart. So this will show you the detail in this format, right? Or maybe in this format, or in this format, for example, right? So it's up to you how you want to present the data for the user. So this will be shown here in this way, right? So if user need this access of this view, he required access for this package first. If you don't give the package, he cannot see any of the view here. He cannot see even the folder what is their content inside. He cannot access anything. First we have to give access for this package. So once we give the package access, then which report he is responsible to get the access, either this view, this view, this view, or this view, or all the view, okay? So this dependent on us, like, or the user who need which access. Clear, everyone?
But could you please open that analytical views and calculation views formats?
Okay, yeah. So presentation wise, you just see like here the join is there, the foundation is different, but otherwise the output wise you can't feel any difference here. you can find which is the maximum sale, right? This product have maximum sale and other products have less sales, correct? So you can find this data in this format. So this product have maximum sale, like here 24,000. Okay, so fine. So here more joins are there. Join again on the join is also possible here. Aggregation is there, right? So those things, ranking, you can find the rank, aggregation, union also you can do, join. So this is the way to show you the detail. Okay, fine. Okay.
Sir, so tables which are in the front end system, do
Okay.
they have any link here? I mean, they are just designing here. So there also it is changing, or just here only they change and extract the report?
Here we are not changing any of the table. It is just we are using the table. Okay, using
Yes,
the
sir.
table, doing some calculation on the field, but it is not directly saving into the fields. For example, if you say, if you want to increase the profit for this product by 10%, okay, so we can do the calculation, we can multiply this into 10% and then see what will be the exact figure. Just an example I'm saying. Okay, so it is, your original table is still remain the same. It is not changing any data into your table, actual table. It is just a presentation of the table. Like 2 or 3 table, you join it, and then if you multiply by 2 or multiply by 10 or 10%, then how the report will be looking like. So those calculation we can do on the tables.
And BO is also connected with HANA DB.
So yeah, this the table, like the table, for example, the sales table, purchase table, this is nothing but the table which is stored into your HANA DB only here. So for example, this sales, you have S4 HANA as your presentation, means your application, but your all the sales data, purchase data will be saved from your like your transaction which you are running into the system in the, as a S4 application. But anyway, the data will be saved into here only, right? So if suppose
Yes, sir.
1 year data is there in the sales, and on this, if you want to see, if you increase the sales by 10%, how much material you need. Okay, so the purchase thing you can find from here. If you add the sales and do the calculation of sales figure, you can see like how many tires you have to purchase if you want to increase your car sales by 10%.
Okay. So same thing which BO, which was done through BO, is
Correct. So like BO, BW, whatever we do, same thing we are doing in the BO.
correct. Yes.
Okay.
Thus, is this a live data, so, or any background job will be scheduled for every 10 minutes or 15 minutes
No.
like that?
No, because it is HANA, we don't have to do this. It is a real-time data.
Okay, suppose now one sales order is confirmed and the purchase order is confirmed.
Hmm.
So after 1 second, if we pull the report using this thing, that the newly added row also will come now in the table,
Yes. That's
or
what.
it will take some time, or
No time. That's what it is, a real-time database, no? Once you save, it is available.
Okay, fine.
Okay, guys. Any further query? Okay. So if no query, then we will see that in the next class. These are the important thing, like what is the different type of privilege, what is the use of these privileges into the HANA DB, and then we create some of the users, give some privileges, and see what is those. This is the important thing in terms of security perspective especially. Okay, So let's see tomorrow. So we'll meet tomorrow 10 p.m. and see that. Okay. Till then, you just log in into the system. Try to create some user at least. Use it, how to use it, and try to be familiar with your HANA Studio. What are the different options are there? How to create users, password, some user parameters. Just see those things. Okay. Right.
Yeah, sorry because actually I missed the last class and today also I missed half of the class.
Yeah. So these things only we told. We just repeated again. Okay. So what we told, you joined this during this time or no?
No, I'm not. I've joined only when you were saying like the schema.
Okay.
I missed new restricted user and everything. I missed if you have it any time like half an hour I will join.
Okay. Sure.
Okay,
Yes.
it's my fault. I missed the class.
No,
But,
no problem. No problem. I will tell you.
yeah, whenever you have a time, ping me. From now on, I will be available. No problem.
Okay. Sure. I will call you.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome. Okay, then everybody take care and enjoy your day, and we'll meet tomorrow 10 p.m. and see the next things. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Bye.